Welcome back, boys and girls, for another day of ELA instruction. Today we are going to read a story called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And this story is a fable, and we will learn more about fables in just a moment. Let's begin by reviewing our learning intention. We are learning to read like a detective so that we can understand the message of a fable. And if you remember, to read like a detective, you look for clues, you ask questions, you make your case, and then you prove it. Today your questions are going to focus around what is the author wanting me to learn from this fable? So what's the author's message? So as you're reading, look for clues to answer that question. Let's watch a brief video.
Today we'll be talking about what is a fable. A fable is a made-up story that teaches a lesson. It teaches about good and bad. Characters are often animals, sometimes plants or inanimate objects. They can also be people. One of the most famous fables is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Do you know that story? Another famous fable is The Tortoise and the Hare. Do you know that one? Thank you for watching.
So boys and girls, we are going to read The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And so let's get started to see what the message is for the reader in this story.
Today we'll be
So on the screen you'll see part of the story, and on the next screen we'll see the rest. So here we go. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, in a beautiful village near lush rolling hills, there was a boy who watched over the village's sheep. Being alone up in the hills was very boring. To liven up his day, the boy thought it would be fun to scare the villagers and scream, "Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers grabbed whatever they could and ran up the hill to scare the wolf. So boys and girls, liven up his day just means to make it more exciting. So what he's saying is it was kind of just boring taking care of watching the sheep, so he wanted to do something to have a little excitement. When they reached the top, they realized they had been tricked by the mischievous boy. He laughed and laughed until the villagers angrily walked back down the hill. Even the sheep were not amused. The boy continued to call wolf, and the villagers warned him that the next time they would no longer believe him. The boy shrugged off the warning and laid down for a nap. So shrugged off the warning means that he didn't really take it seriously. He thought, whatever, every time I say wolf, wolf, they'll come running. One lazy afternoon, the boy heard a terrible sound. Before he could even prepare himself, a wolf appeared right before him and was chasing all the village's sheep. The boy screamed, "Wolf, wolf!" But having lied so many times, the people of the village just ignored him. With no one to help him fend off the wolf, the sheep all ran away, and the boy was left crying on the hill. So with no one to help him fend off the wolf, that means there was no one to help him scare and chase off the wolf. So what happened is the wolf scared all the sheep and they all ran away. So boys and girls, as I was reading, did you think about what message the author wanted you to learn? So let's look here and answer some questions about this story. So the first one is the setting. So where did this story take place? You're right, it took place in a village. And who were the main characters? I think there was a little boy. Who else do you think was a main character? I think you're right. I think the villagers were also characters in this story. They were a group. So we have the boy and we have the characters, we have the villagers. So let's look at cause and effect, because this is going to help us to determine what the author's message was in the story. So it says, the cause, the boy tricked the villagers by screaming, "Wolf, wolf." So what happened, boys and girls, when he did that? Well, at first, you're right, the villagers came running because they wanted to help scare off the wolf. But what happened the last time? That's right, the villagers said, "It's just another trick. We're not coming anymore to help you." And then what happened when there was a real wolf? You're right, the villagers didn't come because the little boy had said so many times there was a wolf that they no longer believed him. So what happened was, the effect was that the villagers didn't believe him, and then as a result, the sheep all ran away. So what's the genre of this story? Is it A, a comedy? The story has a cheerful ending or is meant to make the reader laugh. B, a fable. The story teaches a lesson. And C, a quest. The story has a difficult journey towards a place or goal. And you're right, boys and girls, we already know that that's a fable. We know the answer is B because we talked about that at the beginning of the lesson today. So if we look at the genre, we know that this is meant to teach a lesson. So boys and girls, what's the lesson that you learned from this story? I think the lesson that I learned was, don't say that you need help unless you really do. Because when you really need help, no one's going to come and help you. So boys and girls, the next time you want to trick somebody or you want to play a trick, think about what's going to happen. Are people going to believe you when there's really a problem? So I think the author wants us to only talk about something being wrong when there actually is. And as always, boys and girls, don't forget to read 15 to 20 minutes a day. You can read to a friend, someone in your family, or you could read to yourself. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you for tomorrow's lesson tomorrow.